So today we're going to do a little bit of restorative yoga, and we want to see what we can, just maybe get around the house, because you don't have to have a lot of different equipment to be able to do some restorative practice. So just a little bit of restorative yoga to get us relaxed. And I know we've been going through some hard times with this COVID-19, and at this point in time, I think I have probably been inside for about 4 weeks now. So, and I have a little bit more time to go. And I know that all of us are having a difficult time with that. So sometimes a little bit of restorative practice can help us to be able to sort of calm the busy minds. And there seems to be, even though we're sort of inside and able to do what we want to do, there's this outside things that are very sort of chaotic, and a lot of information that's coming in all the time, a lot of decision making that needs to happen, and a lot of change. And change in our bodies. Quite often we just sort of turn on that fight or flight system that we have. And that fight or flight system releases hormones and cortisol and all kinds of things that keeps us from being able to be calm and peaceful in our bodies. So if we start with our bodies, our minds follow suit. And so we're going to try and rest our bodies a little bit today. So the first thing that we want to do is start with just a little bit of breathing. So we're going to sit in a seated position, one leg in front of the other, or something that feels comfortable to you, because you want to keep this slow and easy and nice. The other thing is go ahead and get yourself whatever you need. Now I've got some pillows here that have just come from different places around the house. You can use those. You can even use bed pillows. I also have here a blanket that's just a regular sort of fluffy blanket that can be used. I have blankets, what I call our Mexican blankets. You can use something like that. And, grab a couple of blankets. I also have a block, and some of you I know may have your own yoga block, but you don't have to have a block. I'm just going to reach over here. You can use something like a book, and a book works really well. This one is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So I have that on my bookshelf, and that's just something that you can definitely be able to use in your practice today if you wanted to do that. Bigger pillows, smaller pillows, whatever you choose to do. So sitting in that seated position, and I'm going to close my eyes and just start to breathe. And if you need to go and get something for this practice, and I've had that information in the description, but if it's not available to you right at the moment, you can just go grab yourself a blanket, a book, and then coming back to sit. Pillows. Now, we just want to get to that seated position and think about how our breath moves in our body. In yoga, we call it our prana. We want to be able to feel the prana move in the body. Feel the life force, our life energy. Every living thing has prana, life energy. And then we'll focus today on feeling that chill, the quietness, the easiness. Becoming very present here. our space. And then we'll slowly come around and come to your hands and knees. I'm going to separate your knees pretty wide here. Tops of your feet down. You can separate your feet, or you can bring your big toes closer together. And we're going to go into a child position. So here we could take one of our pillows, maybe a couple pillows, if it's something that you like to do. And we're going to lay across and over it and turn your head to one side. So we want to settle in here. Big, deep breath in. Really long breath out. And relaxing into the ground, into your pillows, into your bolster if you have one. And then we'll gently lift your head and turn your head in the opposite direction, placing that ear down on your blankets or your pillows. And then gently lift this up. So we're going to come all the way to your hands and knees. We'll move our pillows out of the way. And a little bit of movement here by dropping your hips from side to side. And then taking a breath in that tabletop position and exhaling and going into child. Reaching above your head here. And then inhale and pull your body forward, letting the hips come closer to the ground. We'll open up the front of the body here. And then coming back to table. We'll bring blankets, pillows, whatever works for you. So I like this square pillow here. You can also take a blanket and use a blanket underneath your hips, and we're going to take and bring that underneath the hips, bringing the arms out like goddess, what we call goddess arms or goalpost arms, and the head to the ground. Let the feet relax. lifting your head. Take a big breath in and turn your head in the opposite direction. Exhale it down. Lift your head, take a deep breath in. We'll bring our hands back towards your body, coming all the way up. And we'll slowly come. Let your hands or arms rest on your pillow. And again, back into that child position. And then we'll come all the way up to sit, and we're going to bring ourselves to our hip. So you want to have your hip up against the pillow, a bolster. You can use 2 blankets also stacked on top of each other, some of those thicker blankets like that, so stacked on top of each other here to make yourself kind of like a bolster if you wanted to do that. So once you've learned how to do some of these restorative poses, you might stay in them a little bit longer. And I'm just kind of helping you here with a guide to be able to get yourself maybe a restorative practice that you can do on a regular basis. And I would suggest doing this practice or something like it at least 2 or 3 times a week maybe, and spend about 20 minutes. You don't have to do an hour or whatever, but maybe finding a pose that you really love and doing that one. So with this, again, and you can stay in these poses for like 10 minutes or so. So we're not going to do that today on this video, but helping you to be able to guide through that some. So taking it right up against your hip, you'll take one hand on one side of it and one hand on the other. So again, you could be using bed pillows here, which would work just as well. Our knees are going to separate, feet are turned towards the back of the body. Inhale a breath and start to bring the heart in this nice little twist towards the blankets, and then gently taking the heart down over it. Now turning your head opposite of your knee, or turning your head in the direction of your knee. So you just want to feel what feels right to you. It's a deeper twist to turn it. And then maybe bringing your arms up and over the head. And we'll stay here for a few minutes, just allowing the breath to soften. If your head is turned in the opposite direction, you want to lift your head and turn your head towards the knees and lay it down. We'll all stay here for 3 long breaths. Lifting the head as you breathe in, walking the hands back towards the body. We'll just sit on our hip there for a moment. Exhale a long breath. Eyes closed. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just taking the feet to the other side, or turning over. You can turn around in the opposite direction, putting your hip up against whatever you're using as your support there. One hand on each side. Inhale a breath. As you're exhaling, turn to twist the heart towards the blankets, the pillows. Turn the head in the opposite direction. Hands above your head if you can. Taking a big, deep breath here. Exhaling and just letting things go. And then inhale and lift your head and turn it in the opposite direction. If it's already in that direction, just stay here for 3 deep breaths. Inhale, lift your head and walk your hands back. On the exhale, shoulders come away from the ears, resting on the hip for a moment. So one of the things that we try to do in our restorative practice is to turn our bodies in lots of different directions, around and around in different directions, and lifting our hips or going on our belly and going on our side and different things like that. So I'm going to move these blankets out of the way to just demonstrate that you can use different things. And so I'm going to take my bigger pillow, and we can use pillows and different things. You can stack them up to be more. If you would want them to be more, you can do that. You can even use a book underneath to make it lift up a little bit in the back. If that were something that you were wanting to do, you could do that. And lift it up a little bit so you can see how that might work. And we'll scooch our bottom back and up against the pillow, and then gently laying across it. So you want your throat to be a little open here. You want to rest, bringing the bottoms of your feet together. If this is difficult and it doesn't feel good, you could also take pillows and bring them up against the hips so that you have something for your legs to rest on. So you can use whatever that you would like to use to have those legs resting on something. Pillows are nice, and they can rest, bring your arms away from the body. We're going to take a big deep breath here, in through your nose. And this time open your mouth and let it out like and just feel all the tension release from the body. And we'll spend a few moments here. Just being. Feel your breath going into the nostrils. Slowly leave. We're going to start making whatever movement feels right and bringing the knees to the sky when you're ready for that. Maybe some rocking from side to side. And then slowly and gently just turn to the side and push yourself up. And we'll come to seated position in that cross leg position for a moment, resting your hands on your knees. Bringing your first finger and your thumb together, representing Gyan Mudra or Chin Mudra. Hand gesture connecting to your higher self, your higher wisdom. Beautiful. Now, like I said, you can spend a little more time in these poses once you have yourself a little sequence to use, and hopefully I'm helping you with that today. Or you could just follow, this particular video today and go from pose to pose a little faster. So I'm kind of going a little faster than I normally would in most of the restorative classes, but doing the same poses so that we're turning the body around and going and opening up our heart and opening up the spine, opening up our breath with opening up space in our ribs. And the longer that you stay in these poses, the more relaxed you can go, the deeper you can go in. Play yourself some nice, beautiful music, something that you love, and spend some time maybe in the poses. So the last pose that I'm going to do is more of a relaxing pose, where I'm going to use my blankets as maybe a bolster underneath my knees. And so I'm going to put them there. Now, you could use something like a pillow, bringing your legs up and over a pillow. So you could do that, and maybe putting something under your head so that you would be able to put, but we want to, put something under your head or under your neck, like rolling a blanket for that. But I'm just going to use the blankets because you could stack a couple of blankets and that would just be perfectly fine to do that. And then going into that place of Shavasana, I'm going to use a blanket because that's always nice too. And you can use a blanket throughout this entire practice. I also have here an eye pillow. You don't have to have an eye pillow. You can use anything that can cover your eyes so that the light doesn't come in, because we quite often have the light that comes in. And so coming all the way back and letting your knees rest across so that your legs are nice and relaxed, bringing your blanket over you, that feels good, and then bringing your eye pillow over your eyes, turning your palms up, whether they're underneath the blanket or on top of the blanket. You want to stay nice and warm. You want to have space between your neck so that you can breathe deeply. And we're going to take a big deep breath in and a nice long breath out. So in this particular Shavasana, if you've gone through all the other poses and you've relaxed and things are feeling pretty easy in your body and your mind is very focused on the moment, you can stay in this pose for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes. You can stay here as long as you choose and as long as it feels good and comfortable and perfect for you. We're going to take 5 minutes, and we're going to spend 5 minutes in Shavasana here, allowing ourselves to relax into the earth. You feel your feet relax. Feel your toes relax, the bottoms of your feet, the tops of your feet, and your ankles. And as if relaxation were a current that could gently move up, moving up your shins and calves and relaxing all the muscles and the bones as it goes into the knees, feeling the current of relaxation in your thighs, and then into your hips. Feel your belly relax, the softness in your lower back. the torso of your body, and all of your internal organs. Relaxed and peaceful. Feeling the shoulders release towards the earth, and the current moving down your arms into your elbows, your wrists, and the palms of your hands, and into the tips of your fingers as your fingers curl softly. Bringing your awareness to the current that's moving into the neck and into the jaw as your jaw relaxes and your tongue releases from the roof of your mouth. And your eyes release into their sockets. And your eyebrows relax. And your scalp. And as if that current seeps through the scalp, through the bones and the tissue and down into the brain, relaxing every crevice of the brain. And our minds relax. Our body relax. And this is where we'll stay just a little longer. Allow your breath to bring your awareness back to the body. Letting the breath become deeper and deeper. And then begin to make movements, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Roll your ankles and your wrists. And when you're you're ready to bend your knees. Bend your knees, rock your knees from side to side. And if you have your eyes covered, keeping your eyes closed, but removing the cover, and then rolling over to your side. Side child position. And then we'll gently and slowly come all the way up and come back to that seated position that we began in. Bring the palms of your hands together and into your heart space. Deep breath in. Long, long breath out. Gently open your eyes and namaste.